Trustees, along with Dr. Weber, attended the 2014 Community College National Legislative Summit, which was held February 10th through the 13th in Washington, D.C. I know that Trustees Olschlager and Kerrigan and Griffin and Anderson, I believe, were all there. Would anyone like to comment on the legislative sessions?
Yeah, I will. First, I thought it was a very good meeting, very productive. We met with Congressman Brad Snyder. So I had a chance to meet with him. He was very open to the types of things we're trying to do in support of Pell Grants in particular. And with the legislative aid of Rostam, legislative aid as well there. And we can follow up with his office just to get some more feedback. But those two meetings were very good. Unfortunately, I could not attend the Senator Durbin and Senator Kirk's meeting. Maybe someone else did. But I think it's helpful to us, even though it's a busy time for everyone, to be in front of those legislators that have a lot to do with the federal grants that come in here. And I've forgotten exactly the numbers. I had my talk down when I was in front of the congressman, but is it $11 million that we get from the federal grants, federal aid? Is that the right number? It's actually more than that.
12 million.
Yeah, 12 million. Yeah. So it is a significant portion of dollars. And I think what I suggested is that if I were the legislator, that's the first thing I'd want to hear is the amount of money within the district that I represent is coming in, how much money is actually coming in, and what is that money being spent on. So we did that as a group, and I thought that was productive, that they heard exactly the amount of money that we do get directly from federal aid and federal assistance, and what we do with that money. So, and I want to thank Dick and Darren as well for doing a lot of work, and Jerry as well for doing a lot of work behind the scenes for making it a very smooth transition to Washington and out. So thank you guys.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I'll talk about a couple of things that I'm involved in. You probably heard me report recently that I'm the state coordinator for the Association of Community College Trustees for the state of Illinois, for our trustees organization. That gives me an opportunity to meet with the state coordinators from all across the country, which is kind of an interesting experience, just to see the way different states do things differently or the same as the state of Illinois does. But I mention that because this next year, state of Illinois is hosting our national convention, which is going to be held in Chicago. It's going to be October 22nd to 25th. And one of my responsibilities with the state convention is to help be a gracious host. And at this point, we're looking for volunteers. We're looking for students, faculty, especially students that might be interested in participating in our national conference, that may be willing to sing the national anthem or participate in a jazz ensemble or something of that nature.
How about the blind goat? The blind goat?
We could do that, yeah, we could do that as well. And not just students, faculty as well. If there are paintings or sculptures or any way that we can highlight our students and our faculty, that's something that we want to do. The other thing that we're involved in, and we've been doing this for a few years now, the State of Illinois Trustees Association, the Illinois Community College Trustees Association, actually holds one of their meetings at the same time as the National Congress in Washington. Since we have such a large contingency from Illinois that attends the national conference, we've piggybacked these to help streamline some of the costs. Some of the actions that would be of interest to us that were taken at the Illinois Community College Trustees Association meeting while we were in Washington included the organization adopting our legislative agenda. That's important, especially when there's hardly enough money to go around as it is. And our two top priorities for the trustees organization revolves around local control and also equitable funding for community colleges in Illinois. We also took a look at our federal priorities as well, which, as Trustee Griffin just mentioned, not only included the Pell Grant, but some of our other federally funded workforce programs, such as the Workforce Investment Act and also Perkins, our TRIO grant, and some of those as well. So it was a very productive Congress for all of us.
If I could just piggyback on that, one of the things that I was doing in Washington when the Trustees Association is looking at succession planning for the leadership of the Trustees Association. And with that comes the big issue of pensions and how they affect our executive director and his future and the future of any other person that comes into his position. So there were a lot of conversations about the future of pensions in Illinois and where they're going, and the June 1st date being such an important date in the state of Illinois as far as whether people should be declaring leave the state of Illinois at what amount of their paid and things of that nature. So it was very illuminating and very interesting, and it's just amazing again how much Mike Monahan knows about how the state of Illinois functions. It's just amazing. That then takes us to the meeting that we have coming up in March in Lyle, which I don't know if you saw the email today about how the meeting's going to progress and the conversations about pensions, including every community college in the state of Illinois has identified somebody to come to that meeting to talk to the state university retirement system about where our pensions are and what they're really making it up to this point. So hopefully our people will be part of that also. And also the students are going to have a presentation at the Lyle meeting, which will be interesting, so we look forward to that. So I know I didn't get to meet with Senator Durbin and Mark Kirk, and I really, really apologize for that, but I really wanted to get on that flight before the snow came. And apparently someone else wanted to get on that flight before the snow came. You know, that person would be Senator Durbin, who sat next to me all the way home. I got his ear really good. And so the College of Lake County is foremost in his mind. So that was great.
I was actually allowed to attend the session with Senator Durbin and Kirk. It was very well attended. They were sort of brief because they did want to get out before the snowstorm. But they did answer a lot of the questions that other colleges presented about the Pell Grant, not the Pell Grant, what is it? I can't think. About our grants and about all of the issues we brought up at the Washington conference.
Okay, let me get the grant.
Yeah. Also, I know that Senator Durbin was very concerned about the rating of community colleges, and it's not a big thing like that. So, thank you for have that conversation with you guys. I know he had it with me.
Good job.
Yeah, that's one thing we talked about all the groups now.
And Madam Chairman, if I may, I want to thank Kendall. She was the one that did lead the discussions when we went into the Congressman's office on the Pell Grant, and I thought she did a wonderful job of outlining the concerns from the students. So Kendall, thank you for doing a great job with that.
It's so important for them to hear from the students to see the impact. I think that has the biggest impact. Okay, another conference. President Weber and Vice Chairman Basharian attended the Community Colleges for International Development in Clark County, Nevada, and they conducted a session on how to engage your Board of Trustees. I know I've heard bits and pieces of what happened there, but if you'd like to share with everybody.
Well, it was a wonderful conference for us to attend, and we got a lot of really good ideas, which I already started Dr. Haney on. And Dr. Yu was also there, and we came up with some ideas that we're going to check with the faculty, especially the faculty who's interested in internationalizing, say the word, the curriculum in a greater way than we already are. And so we have a few ideas that we're going to toss around and see if we find that other people share those ideas. Our presentation, according to what people who came up to us afterwards told us, was fine. I mean, they were happy to hear. We just mainly told them that a board is interested in international programs for the purpose of preparing our students for a global society and thereby in adding to student success. We know we want our students to be students of the 21st century, and their exposure to speakers from other universities, from other countries, certainly if they have the opportunity to study abroad, and their interaction with students from other countries and their exposure to international issues throughout the curriculum all add to their general education. But we told them boards are always concerned with strategic initiatives of the university, of the institution. They're concerned with the financial viability of any initiatives, and they're concerned with how any initiative fits into the policies and procedures of the institution. Underneath that is also the issues of risk management and liability. And so we just gave them a story about what we're doing here and gave them suggestions on the kind of successes that we've enjoyed and learned a lot of ideas of what other people are doing that we are hoping that we can implement.
Yeah, it's, CLC is on the board of the Community Colleges for International Development, so I sit on the board, and actually one of the big issues for that board is they're looking for a new host institution, and so the conference gave us an opportunity, and Trustee Gashgari and I both attended a session on the expectations, and we're going to take a look at what that might involve. So there'll be an RFQ or an RFP coming out that we can look at as a college to see if we're interested in that ourselves, but it would probably be a strong indicator of our international program. And just as a quick preview, you're going to hear something about that international program tonight from one of our faculty members and students. So, more later.
In April, we have a committee of the whole meeting. Every year, the board hosts a dinner and a committee of the whole meeting with the classified and specialist employees so that they have an opportunity to present their salary and benefits proposal. This year, our dinner and committee of the whole is tentatively scheduled for April 15th with a 5 p.m. dinner and 5:45 committee of the whole meeting start time. Tax day, how appropriate. I would like to ask our student trustee, Kendall Welton, to report on the student issues.
Well, there has been a lot going on. This month we celebrated Black Heritage Month. 2 main events we had on campus were very well attended. They were the I Have a Dream, A King's Journey, and Poetry in Motion. Black Student Union also co-sponsored a bone marrow and organ tissue drive. BSU was inspired to co-sponsor this event, particularly because racial minorities are underrepresented on donor registries. On January 30th, we had the activities fair. This fair presented all the clubs that are active on the campus, the college campus, and tried to get students that are not involved in the campus to get more involved. This event had a great attendance by the students. The Goodwill clothing drive is happening on campus now. There are bins set up all throughout the campus for donations. This clothing drive is sponsored by the Volunteer Club. This semester's first interclub council meeting was held on February 20th. A representative from each club is asked to be present at these monthly meetings. This council helps clubs engage in networking, collaboration, and to pick up great ideas to improve their clubs. The month of March is Women's History Month. Sister to Sister is co-sponsoring a Women's Empowerment Symposium on March 1st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. This event supports the professional empowerment and personal growth for women. Lunch is included and admission is free. Another event is the showing and discussion on Girl Rising, a film about an unforgettable girls born into unforgivable circumstances. This film captures the girls' dreams, voices, and remarkable lives. This film will be shown at 2 times, March 4th at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and March 5th at 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. On the 5th, the speaker will be present to answer any questions. On March 4th, the college will be celebrating Mardi Gras. Musician Dave Weld and the Imperial Flames will be on campus between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in C003. March 17th, the Irish Step Dancers will be in on campus. Come celebrate St. Patrick's Day with an amazing performance. This event will be held from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in C005. Also, student government met last week, February the 18th, and unanimously voted to support the $9 increase to tuition, the $3 increase to student success fee, and the $1 increase to athletic fees.
Thank you. Before we move on into the agenda, as we discussed previously, items 6.1 and 6.2, post-retirement benefit policies 525 and 625, we went over in closed session last month, and administration has incorporated feedback from the trustees and obtained Councilor Bob Riley's review. So these policies are being presented for second reading and approval today. We also discussed item agenda 9.1, resolution authorizing a contract to purchase and acquire the Walton Trust property in last month's closed session. Administration moved forward with the direction of the trustees and was successful in negotiating an agreement within the parameters that they were given. A brief summary was provided this past Friday to the board in the board update. Final agenda item, we will hold these sections for closed session discussion. 11.1.7 and 11.1.8 terminations, 11.1.9 and 11.1.10 separation agreement, and 11.3.8 vacant position pending approval to begin with the search process. I will request a closed meeting under Illinois compiled statutes 5 ILCS 120, Section 2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, and Section 2C2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. There will be action after the closed session. And that concludes the chairman's report.
Madam Chairman, may I ask that we have some time to follow up with the discussion and where we're at with the payment plan? I'd like to have the trustees, I've requested the trustees to have a discussion with the administration on that whole issue and an update, please.
Yes.
Good evening, and I want to, as Chairman Howland may have mentioned, this evening we have all the reporting materials here, but also the administration was asked by the board to conduct a survey to gauge the interest of the college and public in viewing video recordings of the CLC board meetings. So to this end, the administration distributed that survey, and via email to faculty, staff, students, alumni on February 10th. It was open for 10 days. It was also available to the public via the CLC internet webpage. we actually had approximately 2,500 responses from the faculty, staff, students, and alumni responding to the survey. Of this population, 61% indicated they would view the board recordings. The survey was available to the public via website also, and we received 15 responses there, but 14 indicated they would view the board video recordings. To move on, as you know...
On that survey, at least I think the one that I saw, there were several different answers. One was that you would never view it, one that was that you would view it once in a while or whatever. Do you have the breakdown? 61 cents.
Derek, you want to? Sure.
What's the breakdown?
Sure. For the ones that went out to the college, the faculty, staff, and students.
Just everybody is fine. I just want to know what the breakdown is.
For the total, 39% said never. Of that 39%, 13% were faculty, 11% were staff, 38% were students, and 43% were alumni. And for all the rest, who said that they would review the board recordings at least once a month or whenever they felt needed to review it, the totals were 28% for faculty, 26% for staff, 36% for students, and 32% for alumni.
Was that the only choice, once a month or never?
The choices were every month or almost every month, several times a year, a few times a year.
That's what I was getting at. Do you have the breakdown for that? We're saying there's 61% said that they would view it. So, okay, we know 39% said that they would never view it, but another percentage had to say, hey, we're going to view it like once a month, or we're going to view it once a year, or whatever.
Sure. So for every month or almost every month, 13% said they would. Several times a year, 7% said they would. A few times a year, 7%. And then when a topic of interest to me is under discussion, 34%.
So, well, I suppose we'll see how that plays out. Let me move on then if there aren't any other questions. So then we'll share that data.
So is it fair to say that the majority of folks are going to view it less than once, or when they're interested, right?
Sounds like only when they're only if it's something of interest. Is the only time.
That's the highest percentage, 34.
Well, 39% said they will never view it.
What's the total absolute number? The number, not the percentage.
Well, I don't have the numbers, I just have percentages.
Oh,
Can we get that?
Yeah, we'll
the breakdown
we'll
of
definitely.
all of those
Sure.
as we move forward, because we're going to be making decisions whether we want to continue to do this, and if the numbers don't warrant it, then we have to have a
I
discussion.
don't think we can make any decision on whether or not we want to do this because this is not our setup.
No, I know, but we're having discussions about whether we should
Whether we want to
do
pay for
this, and that was one of the reasons we wanted this input to begin with.
That's a good point. We'll get you that research and the breakdown on it and put that in the next update. Okay. March 31st, we're going to hold a reception here for the IBHE, the Illinois Board of Higher Education. Their meeting will be April 1st here at the college, their next meeting. And so they have a new executive director, Dr. James Applegate, and a new board chair, Ms. Lindsay Anderson. And so we thought it would be nice to invite our local legislators and other dignitaries. We're going to send the board a list of who those folks are, so if you think we've missed somebody, you can indicate to us who it is. And then on the 2000, I should say, the faculty will be holding for the newly tenured faculty a reception. The faculty will be approved tonight, and they'll be honored at the new tenured faculty reception on March 6th from 3 o'clock to 4:30 in the faculty staff lounge. Please let us know if any of you plan to attend. As Trustee Olslager mentioned, the 2014 ACCT Leadership Conference will be held in Chicago, October 20th, 2nd to 25th, and there'll be presentations and proposals that are now being accepted. This year's theme, you've probably all seen, is Winds of Change, Staying the Course to the American Dream. So if you're interested in doing presentations there and you want us to work with you on that, just let Derek Harden know and we'll move all that forward. Last thing on my remarks is to invite Dr. David Greninger to present on the China Semester Abroad program that we have. And I'll say that when we're at CCID, that still is one of the great features of all our large international program. That's significant, but that's one that's kind of very unique to CLC. So, David, please. And David has a student here.
This is Mitchell Larson, and Mitchell was one of the students that accompanied me, so we'll do this together. So he clearly has insights into the experience that I did not have. I wasn't invited along.
How much Mandarin have you learned?
I learned a bit. I mean, language is something that I've always had trouble with, but I think for my ability, I learned a good amount. I was able to understand a good amount.
Good. It's a tough language.
I can testify to that. So I would actually just go along with what Rich was saying in terms of, I run into this with the faculty when I talk to other community college teachers, and I tell them